Hello, what we're going to look at today is how to get into Desmos and work in the activity builder. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your ClassLink Launchpad, and I think it's easiest just to type in Desmos so that you don't have to search for it. Now we're not using the calculator, so we want to actually go to the Desmos site. So we're going to go there, and it should automatically log you in with your Google account. If it doesn't, you would hit Google Login, but it should be that one link, one click. Alright, so once you're in here, you are in Desmos, and we're going to go to this Browse Activities in the Teacher section. Now all of their featured activities are going to be math activities because that's who primarily uses this site. But there are other options, so if you go up to this Search for Activities and search for, I start out broad and then try to narrow my way down. Some science or social studies, you will possibly find some Desmos created activities. So this one on solar system does have a solar system section. So you can open these and make a copy of them so that you're able to edit them and then customize it. And that's a great place to start. That's usually where I start when I'm making something for the first time. But I do want to show you how to create fresh, new, independent activities. So you can go into collections and create folders basically that are collections. So you could do them by units or activities. It's up to you. And then your custom activities, once you've created them, will show up under custom. So I'm going to come up and make a new activity. And once we have this finished, we want anyone with the link to be able to open it. So I'm going to leave that there. And I'm just going to call this demo, and you can put a description in if you'd like to, but I'm not going to for this. Once you have it titled, you're just going to hit create a new activity. Alright, so up at the top you will see our title, and that's where we could get the link for our activity, but first we're just going to start to build it. So this is our actual tray of slides as we create. So the first one is open for us and we can start creating. As we create, we're just going to hit the plus sign and new slides will come up. You can put more than one thing on a slide, and I'm going to show you that right now. So for this first one, I'm going to do an ordering activity, and I'm going to put the instructions here where it says add title. And then the last thing we want this to do is we want this to be a two-part question, and we want the students to explain their answers. So we're going to add that in the directions too. To do that, we're going to come over to this text input, and we're going to put that, you can put it on top of, you can put it underneath. I'm going to put it next to it. I feel like kids don't always scroll when they need to, so if I put it next to it, they should see it. And then I said I wanted them to put the oldest first, so oldest at top. Alright, and so when we do this, we want to put these in the correct order so that that is the answer key. So I'm going to start with bike, and I'm going to come up to these three dots, and I'm going to check this box that says use order as answer key, and it will randomize them for the students as they get their tests. Afterwards, they would explain their answer in the text box. Now, if you're doing this as classwork, this is a nice feature where you can have it show students their classmates' responses so they would see each other's justifications. So if this were a test, you wouldn't want that on, but if it's just classwork and you want them to be able to see each other's justification, particularly great in concurrent teaching so that the students that are home can see the students that are in the classroom and vice versa. Once you have it looking the way you want, then you just come up here back to your tray and you're going to start the next question. All right, the next one we're going to do, I am going to just do media. So with media, you can add videos or images. So I'm going to click and it's going to take me I can either go into my videos on my computer, I can go into the pictures on my computer, or I can go into my Google Drive. I'm going to just go into the pictures on my computer for now. This is an image of currents, the winter currents and the spring currents. So maybe I want the students to explain. All right, so they see both of the images. I can give the image any sightings I need to. And then I'm going to give them a text box where they can do their explaining. Again, you can do it to any side. I like doing it to the right. And then the students would put their answer in, and again, if this is classwork, you can have them see each other's answers if you'd like. And so that one's pretty easy, very cool. This could be a video though, if you wanted them to watch a short clip of something and then answer. This would also be great for political cartoons and explaining the cartoon. There's a lot of options you can do with this. Again, there's a map here and currents, but you could put a historical map in there and explain the Western Progress or explain the Fertile Crescent. Any of those things are wonderful ideas, and I'm sure you can think of many more ideas. That would be great. I have this the way I want it, so I'm going to come up to my tray and add the next one. For this next one, what I want to insert is a table. I was dragging these tabs on the left, these question types, over. You can also just click on them and they go in. I have a bad habit of double clicking and it puts it twice. You only have to click it once, but they're really easy by clicking on the 3 dots to delete. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this table is I'm going to do elements and atomic numbers. So I want the students to complete the table. And on this side, I'm going to have the elements. And on the other side, we're going to have atomic numbers. And then we're going to fill in some of these. And we're going to leave some blank. And then when the students see this, they'll be able to fill in the blank boxes. That one's pretty straightforward and easy to use. The next one we want to do is one of the most versatile and one of my favorites, is a sketch. For this one, I'm going to have the students diagram the solar system. My favorite options is backgrounds. Now we can leave this just as a plain whiteboard for the students to use, but you can also add an editable graph or custom images to the background. So for this one, I'm going to add stars in the sky, and that gives them a good background image to work from. And the students will then be able to sketch anything on here for them to use. And we can preview these as we do them by clicking preview here. But I'm going to preview them all at the same time because I think that's a little bit easier. At least it's a little easier for me. Alright, and then the last question type we're going to look at is a sorting image. Now, by far this is not the last option. We still have multiple choice and more than one correct answer checkbox option. Those are pretty straightforward. I want to show you this card sort, so let's add one more from our tray. And I'm going to come down to the card sort. Now you can add math or text, you can add an image, or you can add a graph. And I'm going to come up. I want to add 3 images, and then I'm going to have the students sort them. Some text. I've seen this done with the branches of the government. So the students would have the legislative, the judicial, and the executive, and then terms that could go with each one of the options. And you can have more than one text card that goes with an image. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So you're just going to click on it and it'll take you back to your photos. Alright, there are my 3 images, and then I'm going to have text cards to go with each. So we've got, and just to show you how the multiple can go with it, I'm going to add one more tweets. Alright. sort. You might want to let them know, especially if this is the first time they're using this with you. So this is what I'm going to go with. Another nice thing that you have is you can sort these cards out. So if it ends up that you want to regroup these in a different order, you can slide the cards around and drop and drag them in any order you want, so you don't have to do them in any particular order because they are all editable. And so I want to do a little preview. It's starting me here at number 1. Whatever card you were on last is where it's going to start you. And so we're going to put tweet, Twitter, Insta, and YouTube. And the images are also movable, but once you move them, it'll move the cards as well. Alright, so that's how that one goes. Here's my order, and as you can see, it randomized it. And then my justification. And hit submit, and that's how that would look. This one is just the image where they would type in their explanation. Drawing, now the nice thing here is they have different color types and they have different thicknesses for this. They can do some line connections if they need to. They can erase, they can type text or equations. So I'm going to use something bright for the first one. There's my sun, and these are definitely not going to be to scale. But remember, they're using their trackpad to draw these, so we probably won't see any Picassos. Then I would probably add for the students to make sure that they label their images. And that's how that would go. So that's a pretty cool feature. And then lastly, we would add in our numbers. So they just click in the boxes and type in what they are. And I honestly do not know all of these, so get these to the other end. Alright, so something like that. I know potassium I did not do correctly. I think it's more like 17, 18, maybe, I don't know. Alright, so once you're done previewing, you just close it out. Once you have everything the way you want it, you're going to click Publish. And there are my screens. You can do these teacher guided or independent. Once I'm ready, if you have classes that you've created, you can assign them by class. But if you're just going to put the link inside of Schoology, I think that's fine if you're not going to do these very often. Single session code will come up. You can have it active for 48 hours, 2 weeks, or a year. I don't know why we jump from 2 weeks to a year, but they do. And so I'm going to click 2 weeks for mine and create an invitation code and the student link. And I can just take this link and copy it and paste it into Schoology, and it'll take the student straight in. Pretty easy to do.
Okay, so we've created our Desmos activity. Now it's the day I want to use it, so I'm going to come to Custom, and here's the activity I want to use. So I'm going to click View Dashboard. It will pop up your share link for students that you can copy and paste into Schoology if you haven't already done so. Alright, so I have one student in, myself, and I want to show you some of the options that we have first. So we can anonymize. So if this is going to be up on the screen and you're going over this with students, you can anonymize, and so it puts up fake names for the students. You can also select the pacing. So right now I have it on teacher pacing. So as soon as the students are finished with one, it will stop them and they can't go on until we go on. And I can watch this. Right now I'm on the summary screen so that I see the summary of where everyone's at. I can also go to the teacher page, and from the teacher page all of the students will show up here in their own little box, and if I click on a student it'll show me what it looks like for that student. And I can get a little overview summary as well. Now this pacing we can we have some options. So if I go to pacing, I can stop pacing altogether, and now the students can proceed through the activity at their own pace and just continue along. And so this is how you set it so that there's no pacing and it's student guided. So you want this if you're going to have it as homework, or if you want it to just be classwork and everybody's working at their own pace. For pacing though, I can also allow them to go to a certain point and then stop them. So right now I have it restricted to screens 1, 2, and 3, and once the students get to screen 3, it will stop them. So this is my range. Anything with the orange blocker, what they're able to do. And so once I have to be selected, I just click restrict to screens 1, 2, and 3. And so the students can go at their own pace. If I want to edit, I can stop pacing. I can also have students go to just one screen and stay on that screen that I want them to go to. So if we've done 1, 2, and 3, and now I want everyone to go to 3 so we can talk about it, I can restrict everyone to screen 3, and it will automatically pop up to screen 3, and then everybody will be restricted and have to stay on that screen. So this one is an interesting one. This has the picture. It also could have a short video. Right now I have a video in there that really doesn't relate. I just wanted to show you that that was able to be done. And then the student's choice as to what it was that they chose. Once we're done with 3, and I'm sure that everyone understands it, I can advance them to screen 4, and right now it has it so that everyone is on screen 4. If I want to, I can click on it. It's now yellow, and students are able to do either screen 4 or screen 5. And go back to my summary screen, see what students have done. Another option you have is for screenshots. So if you want to take a screenshot of student work, I pulled up the student response and then I click on the little camera and it will take a screenshot of the student's work. Another nice option you have is when you have these ones with the photos and the backgrounds, if you don't want it to show the backgrounds, you can click the check mark to take the background away just so that you can see the work, because that background makes it a little difficult when they're very small to see. So that's another option that you have. You're also able to give student feedback. So if I click on a student's work and I see that their answer is incorrect, I can come up to the little speech bubble here and add feedback. So I might want to tell that student, and then I can send that to them. That student can also send feedback to you if they are having issues. When you send feedback to the students, they'll have a little speech bubble that shows that they have a message. I'm going to try to show you that. So this is what the student is seeing. So they're working on it. They've already gone past the item that you were talking about, but they'll get this little lesson feedback and the little red 1 or 2, however many messages you've sent them. And so when they click on that feedback, it tells them to go to screen 3, and their feedback is to think a little deeper as to the meaning behind the flows of the currents. So they get that feedback from you and they're able to edit their response. Right, so back in the teacher screen, you can see it from the student point of view as well. So you have the student point of view, the teacher point of view with all of your students that will show, a summary that shows you where everyone is. So if the dot is there, then they've completed that task. And as they finish them, I can see that one student and who that student is that's working on it. I'm just going to put in some quick answers. And once I have that done, now we can see that this one has been completed. There's also this little annotation on 3, and that's because we did some feedback on that one for that student. So it lets us know where we've given feedback, and we're able to know if we want to go back and see if the student has changed their work. It'll let us know where we need to go to do that. So that's a nice little reminder as a teacher of where we've left feedback. And then the snapshots that we've taken. So these are the snapshots I have of student work. I can add another snapshot if I want, and I can take a picture of pretty much anything. And I can also upload a picture as well from my computer if I wanted to do that. If we have a great example and I've taken a snapshot of a student's work, or I've taken a snapshot from my computer of a picture that explains something, I can add that and present it to all students. And so it'll show up on their screen. All right, so those are some of the main points of how this works. A lot of options for you, so play with them. But I love the pacing, I love the self-paced, I really like the controls that the teachers have for this. I think it's a great way for teachers to do classwork and homework.
Feel free to explore in here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm pretty new to this, so I don't know that I'm the expert on this. You might want to ask your friendly neighborhood math teacher, because I guarantee they'll be able to answer your questions probably better than me. But I'm always here for you if you need any help, so feel free to ask me. Good luck, give it a try, let me know what you think.